Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tim. This is Vehicle Evolution, and yep, finally happened. She broke. Anyway, so those of you who have been following the channel for a while, at least a little while, know that I do pretty much all the work myself on my car. So I wanted to explain today kind of why, and this situation is exactly why, and this bill is really exactly why. So before we jump into this video, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe. We've got a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming, especially come springtime, and you're not going to want to miss it. Please give this video a big thumbs up. The more likes, the better. And let's jump right into the video. So to give you a little bit of backstory on me and cars and everything, I've always loved cars. I've had quite a number of cars over the years, and I pretty much have always done my own work on them, and that's for a couple reasons. One, I enjoy doing it. I like to actually take things apart, put things back together. I like to fix things. I really like doing these videos where I show you guys how to do the stuff so that hopefully it makes your updates a lot easier for you. And yeah, so I mean, that's really why I do it. The other end of it is I've been screwed by dealers. I've been screwed by places like Jiffy Lube. I've been screwed by Mr. Tire. You know, it's just crazy how certified technicians can be so bad. And I'm not saying all of them. Don't get me wrong there before you start killing me in the comments. I'm not saying all dealers are bad, all shops are bad. It's just been my experience so far. I seem to run into the bad ones. And dealers especially really kind of rub me the wrong way. I'll give you a quick story. It's probably 10 years ago, maybe more than that. I had a 2004 Dodge Ram. It was a 4x4, did a lot of work to it. I actually don't have any pictures, otherwise I'd stick a picture up because it was a pretty badass truck. And I had an issue with the power supply on it. It wasn't the alternator was fine, but I think it was just like a bad battery cell or whatever, and I just replaced the battery. I had the dealer replace the battery, so I took it back to the dealer and take it up to the dealer. Everything's under warranty, and while they're there, they call me up and say, we've got your truck ready for you, but we noticed that you really should really change your oil, and your brakes are just about shot. So I said, really? And they're like, yeah, the technician says that you've got very little pads left on your brakes. I'm like, seriously? And they're like, yep. And I said, that's funny because last weekend I changed my oil and I did my brakes and rotors at the same time. And it was dead silence on the phone. And I told them, why don't you just worry about what I took the truck into you for and stop trying to screw me on the stuff that I didn't. And from then on, my faith in dealership repair has been in the floor. So I bet you're wondering, well, why now? Why do I go back to the dealership this time? Well, it's pretty simple. When it comes to some work, I don't have the facility or the tools to actually do it. And if it involves a transmission and actually having to get the car up on a lift, I don't have access to a lift, so I can't do that kind of stuff very easily. And it's freezing now because it's wintertime in Maryland, and it's just not worth sitting on my back underneath the car trying to rig it. So the other day, this is what happened to the car. So the other day, I get into the car, start it up, put it into reverse, goes into reverse fine, put it into drive, it keeps going into reverse. Eventually slams into drive, and then the shift selector screen in the odometer area just whites out, goes completely blank. I'm like, oh damn. what have I got going on here? I thought, well, maybe it's just like an electrical thing. I need to reset it. So I turned the car off, put it in park, turned the car back on, and I can't even get it out of park anymore. So I'm thinking, well, this is great. And my first thought was, I got a transmission issue. I actually had a little bit of a transmission issue with this at about 30,000 miles, and it was all covered under warranty. They took care of it, so that was a good experience. This, on the other hand, was not. So I finally get it to the point where I can actually drive it and get it on the highway, and it's driving fine, and figure, I'm working it. I'm gonna take it to the dealership, because if it's really a transmission issue, it'll still be under warranty, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this thing going once I park it at home anyway, and I don't want to have to deal with a tow. So I take it down to the dealer. Dealer tells me, well, I can't get you in for like another 5 days because we're busy. And I told him, well, that's not going to work. And they kind of worked with me on that, and we're able to diagnose it within like the same day. Well, they called me up the very next morning. This was late in the afternoon. They called me up the very next morning and tell me that I have an inhibitor switch that needs to be replaced. But here was the kicker. They didn't tell me I had an inhibitor switch that needed to be replaced. They said, we think it's this, and this is where Hyundai says we should start. I'm like, great. I said, I'm assuming since you're calling me that this isn't under warranty. And they're like, no, that's why we're calling you. It's going to be $460 some. I'm like, 400, say what? $460 some to replace this switch. So I asked the representative, I said, so if this doesn't do it, and you've got something else major that goes wrong here, do you leave the part in that I don't need, and I'm going to be charged $400 and some for it? And they say, yes. I'm like, well, you better hope that that's what fixes it. So long story short, although this is getting to be a long story, I get a call a day or so later, and they say, you can come pick up your car, everything's fixed. It was the inhibitor switch. I'm like, great, I'll be down. So I go to pick up the car. They charged me $75, roughly $75. I'll show you the invoice. They charged me $75 for the part, which I find out I can order it online for $35 directly from Hyundai, and $370 labor to fix a component that probably took them 15 or 20 minutes to fix. And that is why I have no faith in the dealerships when it comes to repair. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for making money. I have nothing against mechanics making money. I have nothing against anybody making a profit. That's not the point of this. The point is that when you screw somebody over so bad because they really have no other choice than to use you for the service, it's just wrong. It rubs me the wrong way. I could never do that kind of thing to somebody else. I could never really just like hit them where it hurts when they're down on something. And don't get me wrong, it was $460 some. Actually, let's look. We'll show you right now. So there it is. $462.33. $72.95 for parts, $372 for labor, and $15 for whatever GOG is. If anybody know what GOG means, let me know in the comments below, because I haven't got a clue. So anyway, not only did it suck having to pay that for a repair that probably should have at least been half that cost, if not less than that, but just the overall attitude that I got was terrible. I mean, it was really a bad customer service experience, and just an overall, it's a bad experience. So again, I don't have anything against mechanics. I don't necessarily have anything against dealers in general. I have everything against people who take advantage of other people. That just rubs me the wrong way. It pisses me off, and it is what it is. And in the long run, I've had this car now for over 5 years, just a little bit over 5 years. I've had very, very little trouble with it. A couple things, like I mentioned, a transmission thing early on that was fixed under warranty. But really, this is the only thing that's happened to it. So I mean, I can count my blessings that, out of 72,000 miles, a $500 repair, it's not so bad. So, you know, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been something way different, way more expensive, out of warranty, and that would have really sucked. But, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to kind of make this video on what happened to it, why I was upset with the dealer. Now, mind you, I've bought 4 cars from this dealer. Okay? My family has bought 4 cars from this dealer. I used to own a Sonata. My girlfriend just bought an Elantra in 2017. I got the Genesis in 2014, and just recently my mom bought a Santa Fe, and I was with all of them to buy all of those. So to have that kind of loyalty to a dealer and them kind of like ram you up the butt, it kind of rubs you the wrong way. It really does. So I wasn't really looking for this to be a complaining session. It was more of a, this is why I do the work myself. This is the experiences I've had with the dealer. If you've had experiences similar to it, leave me messages in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have had happen to you. If you've had great experiences, leave them as well. I would love to hear positive things also. I tend to be a very positive person, and I don't like to just harp on the negative. So if you have had those good positive experiences, certainly let me know. I'd love to know. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. The likes help me out quite a bit just to get more visibility on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We do have a lot more stuff coming for this car, and we're going to be doing a bunch more video updates and some cool stuff, so definitely subscribe. But that's all for me for now, guys. Until next time, take it easy.